So good evening, good morning, and good afternoon, friends. Welcome to the another session of our simple spiritual Sunday gathering program. I welcome you all the Zoom participants and the YouTube viewers. A great warm welcome to everyone. So thank you for joining. So friends, as you all know that we come here on Sunday evening, and we meditate together and we hear to the wisdom and the knowledge shared by our masters, where their experiences which will help us to go along with in our spiritual journey, right? So today, friends, we have a great master with us, Upali Upasana Giri. Hello, ma'am. How are you? Good. So, friends, let's start the conversation with our master, and I would like to welcome Rashmi here to take over. Hi, Rashmi. Good morning.
Hi, Sirisha. Good morning. Hi, ma'am. Good evening. Good morning.
Good evening.
Yeah. So, welcome to Infinity, dear friends. As Sirisha said, we are meeting every weekend. We are meditating and we are learning about uh, the life and the journey, spiritual journey of different masters. So, we have Upali Upasana today joining us, and she's a budding psychologist, transpersonal psychology, and quantum science enthusiast. She's a writer, she's a narrator, she's a seeker, and she's an enabler at Pima, India. Yeah. So, a lot of things to learn from her, to hear about her experiences and her journey. We're very excited. Thank you for joining us, ma'am. Thank you so much. So the sessions, we start with a 30 to 35 minutes of meditation. So I would kindly request you to guide us through the meditation. Welcome to the session, ma'am.
Thank you. I'm surprised where that intro you got because I did not give that. But it's nice. But thank you so much for inviting me. Let's meditate and then maybe we will properly have a conversation.
Yeah, we'll
So I
get into
would,
the interaction after the meditation.
yes, I would request everybody to uh, take their seats comfortably. We'll descend into meditation. Cross your legs, clasp your hands, and slowly close your eyes. Sit very comfortably. Take back support if you need. Just relax. Slowly play the music. Enter into meditation. Just observe your natural flow of breath. Observe ingoing and the outgoing breath. Relax your body and just observe your soft, smooth, natural breath. No thoughts and no thinking. Whenever a thought comes to your mind, come back and observe your breath. The soft inflow and the soft outflow. Just breathe and be in the present. Just be with your natural flow of breath. Complete awareness only and only on the breath. The soft inflow and the soft outflow. Just the natural way. Let your breath flow naturally. Be with your breath. Be with yourself. Be with your natural flow of breath. Last 5 minutes. Feel the breath. Feel yourself. Feel your presence. Be one with yourself. Be one with your breath. Last 2 minutes. Last 30 seconds. Last 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Slowly, we'll all keep our hands on our eyes and open our eyes very slowly within our hands and come out of meditation. Whenever you're ready, comfortable, you can open your eyes.
Thank you so much. It was a beautiful meditation and wonderful way to start our session today. Thank you so much. Yeah, so as I was saying, it is more of an interactive session, and we would like to know you, your personal journey, your spiritual journey, and your experiences. So we'll start from the beginning. Um, how and when did you come into meditation, or when did you start meditation? Was your family already into spirituality, or?
Okay, okay, all right. So it began in 2011, when I was 11 years of age. So that's when it all started. So the story goes like, so one of our neighbors, I'll also name them, the Srinivas sir and Nagalakshmi ma'am. They were our neighbors back then, and we were going through a lot of family dynamics. My dad was shifting abroad for work, and we were here in Delhi, so a lot of emotional distress was there. So they kind of told my mom that you can try meditating. It might help you. So she started meditating. I was very skeptical about meditation. I'm like, what is this? Like just closing your eyes and sitting there, doing nothing. I'm like, I couldn't wrap my head around the fact that what is meditation. So she said that you can try. I won't force you, but you can try. It's your choice. But 11 years of age, you really, don't know much about what is happening. Peak teenage, like you're just like, entering that teenage phase, and new things is happening in your life. Attraction is happening. A lot of things is happening. So she just started meditating in the house, and um, me and my sister saw, and then we gave it a try. And then in the night, we used to meditate. It became like a mandate after that, that you should meditate. And that's how it's all started. And I was still skeptical for good 3 years. What is this? I was not ready to accept the entire spirituality, religiosity aspect angle of life. Um, so, and then in class eighth, all of my friends started getting marks. And they got like trophies and marks and all of those things in academics. And I was like, okay, now I want this. So, and then mom said that, okay, fine. If you meditate, your concentration will go up. If you meditate, your focus will go up. So you can study more and you can get your marks. So that was like the trigger point. Okay, fine. Now I want marks, so I will meditate. And then I started meditating very, very seriously. Every day in the night, every day whilst before studying, after studying, I used to meditate. Little, like not much, like not for hours, just 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes at max. And my concentration went up, like it went from 45 minutes to 3 hours. In one sitting. And that's how the reward was, that I got trophies. I got trophies in school, 8th, 9th standard, 10th standard, 11th standard. So I was like, okay, fine, I'm one of the toppers. I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm doing academically great. So that was the adrenaline rush that I got. And that's what motivated me more to be in meditation. Would sit for hours. If you want to make me do anything, I would do anything. My memory was excellent. So all of those things were like magic for me. There was like miracles for me at that point of time. How did that just happen? Because as a kid, I would open my book, close my book because nothing is interesting. After meditating, what happened, like during meditation, what happened is I would like sit with those books, find meaning in those chapters, and just like simple biology, physics, chemistry, mathematics. I used to hate mathematics, but the moment I started meditating seriously, I could give those sums and solutions a lot of time. I loved physics as a subject because that would make me think more. So I just became very, very, very academic at that point of time. I think that the interest developed because I used to sit more with my books and all of those things. So that's how it started. We were also non-vegetarians. We are from Odisha, so um a lot of people eat all sorts of food there. But I was very reluctant to eat non-veg from very beginning in my childhood, because I didn't like the idea of killing something or some animal and eating it for yourself. That's like the highest level of selfishness one can do. But my family used to eat, but I would still resist, but they won't listen. But after all of them started meditating in 2011, so one person started and everybody else just picked up the chain. My dad started meditating, I started meditating, my sister started meditating, and they just took a decision that we will not eat non-veg. So that was like the happiest day of my life. I'm like, I don't know what meditation will do, but I am happy that no one is getting killed. That's all I was happy about the moment I started meditating and my family started meditating. So that's how it began.
That's wonderful. Yeah. Starting meditation at a young age is amazing. So, did you ever feel different from kids of your age, other kids of your age?
I mean, not very different. I mean, I would feel the same things. I would still feel academic pressure. I would still feel attraction towards the opposite gender. I would still feel jealousy. I would still feel, oh, that person has this thing. I don't have this. Why don't I have this? I would still have issues with my mom. Why are you not letting me go out to meet my friends? Why am I not allowed to go to parties? But I also with meditation gave me a lot of patience. So even if something would not happen or something would not go my way, I would get irritated at the beginning, but eventually I would accept it, pace myself down, and be okay with it. So I think that stability was different from other people. When teenagers were getting irritated, I was not very irritated. I would not get angry that easily. To make me angry, one has to maybe kill somebody, then I would be angry. That's my tolerance level for anger. But in that way, those temper tantrums I didn't have much in my teenage. But other than that, uh, it was nice. So it was not like because I did meditations I would not feel anything. I would feel it, go through it, but it would also give me an alternative to be calmer and be patient. So that's how it was.
Yeah, take control of your emotions, right?
Yeah,
More
regulate
in
more.
control.
Yeah,
Yeah,
correct. More in control, more regulate. So that was the best highlight of my teenage, that even if I'm angry at somebody or I am doing something else, I can still sit and study for hours. So I could compartmentalize emotions and cognition, all of those things separately. Like they won't interfere with each other. And it's still like that. Still my, like now that I'm little big, but it's still that compartmentalization is so solid that world can go either other, like it can go anywhere, but I can keep my emotions aside
that's
and
wonderful.
do my stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you've been meditating for a while now. Has your meditation evolved? How has it changed from the time you started, and how do you see it now?
So I started as a kid who knew nothing about meditation. In my introduction, you use so many big, big words, transpersonal, quantum, and all of those things. So as a kid, I didn't know anything. I just like sit, close your eyes, meditate. But I had a lot of questions. If people, so what used to happen is Patrisa used to come and we used to all, sit around him, and we used to ask, like people used to ask him questions, all sorts of questions. And I saw this, I saw that, I heard this, I know all of, I felt this, I felt that. But I couldn't feel anything. I couldn't see anything. I couldn't hear anything. So I'm like, why is that person feeling and hearing so much? Why I am not doing it? So, all of these meditation experiences didn't happen to me in the beginning. So I was like, am I doing it wrong? Am I doing it right? So, and then Sir said, and a lot of other people's experiences when they share that sometimes there are no thoughts and nothing. So from that state, to something happened in 2019 when I was in Dhyan Chakram. That happens in Hyderabad, Kartal. And that time I could really feel that I am present at two places. I am present within my body and I'm present outside my body as well. So, and that happened during meditation. So that way, those experiences got deeper and deeper is what I would feel. I still can't see, I still can't hear, I still can't feel, but I but that experience was such powerful that I could see myself inside and outside both of my body. So that was a very, very solid experience, is what I would say. But more than what happens in meditation, my experiences revolve what happened when I'm not meditating. So, as I said, the as a teenage, when you are um, going through all these changes, puberty hits, everything hits. Um, every emotion hits so hard that you can't understand what to do. So that time, I think the state in which you are, like the way you feel when when you're meditating so calm, you have no worries, you are just in the present moment. That state continued even after I opened my eyes and I'm not meditating. That state used to continued for a very long time. So that way, I would say that while my eyes are closed and while my eyes are open, the state won't change that much. So, as a child, as a young adult, or as a teenager, I was way calmer. So, it's still like that. People still ask me, how can you be so calm? I'm like, I don't know. So, that way it has evolved. And when I'm meditating, I started, I don't know how related is that, but I started dreaming and remembering my dreams a lot. And after I meditated for so many years, now I can understand and identify why a dream is like that. So my consciousness in my dream state became like very, very like what to say, aware, or um I don't know how to say that. I just felt I know that I'm dreaming, but I'm still there in my dream. It's like
Being
that.
aware of
I'm
the
not,
dream.
yeah, being aware of the dream. So that happened, like that is a very recent experience, and that happened, I feel that happened due to meditation. So much awareness has been instilled that in dream state also I know that I'm dreaming. I'm not controlling anything. I know that I'm dreaming and I'm dreaming actively, and I know why that dream is there. I can identify, okay, there is some internal conflict which is going on, which is why those symbols are like that in my dream. So that way the experiences were like enhanced over the years.
It's wonderful. Yeah. It's I felt that meditating or the meditation practices keeps us more aware. Like as you were saying, you know you are dreaming, but you
Yeah,
still know what you're dreaming, and
correct.
you remember all those, that awareness in each moment. What even if you're not meditating, you have that awareness. That is I think everyone who has been meditating for a while, they keep telling about this experience.
Yeah. It
So in your
happens.
introduction, I did mention you are a psychologist. I think you are.
Yeah.
So my next question is transpersonal psychology. I'm hearing that word for the first time, but I was
Yeah.
just Googling it, and I think it bridges the gap between spirituality and
In psychology.
your psychology. So
Yeah.
um, how did that help in your spiritual journey, or what was the impact of that?
Okay. So psychology came very late in my life. Like I was aiming to become a doctor, like a full medical practitioner. And after 12th standard, in my gap year, I started, the inclination towards psychology began there. So when I started meditating after a couple of years, I started reading a lot of books. My mentor, Dr. S. Ranjan, he recommended a lot of books to read. And he said, and Sir also said that you can't ask question and get your answers like that. Nobody will give you those. You need to read, you need to contemplate, you need to understand, you need to spend time with yourself. And that's the only way you can find your answers. From my childhood, I have been asking one, two, three questions very prominently to my grandfather and my mom. Why am I here? Why are we all are here? Why this exists? What happens beyond Earth? What happens beyond this galaxy? What is God? What is GT? So all of those questions were there from this childhood. Teenage, everything got wiped out. When I started meditating again, every question came back. And the closest answer I could find that time was through psychology, the study of the mind or study of the psyche or whatever we can call that. So in 12th standard, when I took psychology as a subject, it was very, very interesting for me. I just started like what is mind and what is memory, what is cognition, start with that. And I, st- I was aiming to be, and that's why I wanted to be a psychiatrist. I'm like, I want to be in the medical field, but I want to become a psychiatrist, because why people think differently, why people behave differently, why people have different experiences, why people react differently to the same experience. So all of those questions were just around me, and all the books that I read, I read a lot of Joe Dispenza books. I read a lot of yogi Himalayan yogi books. So all of those things and all of those conversations in my house about mind, body, soul connect, and there's an afterlife, and then an author called Mike Newton came into picture, and then Brian Weiss came into picture. So all of those books sort of like made me question a lot what happens after life. But I also understood that to understand these concepts, one has to know that there is something beyond the body, that there is something goes beyond the body, and that bridge was between body and the soul was the mind. So that is when I became very interested in psychology, and I pursued it as a career. um but the question about, so all of these questions that I was seeking got answered through transpersonal psychology, which is essentially a subdiscipline of psychology. So there, all of these existential questions were there. All of these researchers were there. All of these, people from other fields used to write books on it. So there, it sort of I started getting those answers. But in my own practice, I would say that it gave me vocabulary. The only thing that psychology has given me vocabulary to understand my own self, understand others, and understand those questions that I have. Every other thing is explained by spirituality. It's like you can feel it, but you don't know how to say it, and transpersonal psychologists give you those words to say. For me, it was like that. So if I have to say, I had this out of body experience, I had this, all of those experiences or whatever. So it just gave me vocabulary and made me understand if something happens to you in meditation, or all of those trance states, this is how you can explain what is happening inside your body and your mind. So that field of psychology helped me understand all of these concepts. So I just keep it to there. It's not a very, I just like reading about it. But most of my research work happens in the field of social psychology. Why people are like that, if they are like that, is what I'm trying to understand right now. So but it did help me understand why people experience different things, why people have different opinions, why different people have different intensity of experiences. Why people are different is what um, psychology helped me understand, and spirituality gave me the acceptance that yes, people are different and you have to accept them as they are. So all of these principles happened through spiritual books, but their application at a very mass level, at a very community level, I think psychology helped me doing that. And that's how I've evolved, and that's how I started doing research. And that's what I want to bridge essentially, is that there is a bridge between psychology and spirituality. You can start with psychology and you'll end up in spirituality for sure. There is no other way it is going, because it can't happen. The where psychology stops is what happens beyond mind, and spirituality starts by saying there is something beyond mind. So that is a linear pathway. So that's
Yeah.
how it helped me.
That's what I was thinking. Like science and spirituality, we always think they're different, but it's a beautiful way they
Yeah,
merge together, and they hand in hand they help each other, right? Like
yeah,
how we learn about the science of spirituality, and some of the questions we have in the like scientific questions, it's beautifully explained by our spiritual experiences.
exactly. All
Yeah.
of the energy concept that happens with people, that when people say that, you know what, I went into this trance state because this music was playing or something was playing, it is all a play of frequency. When we say that we are sitting in a collective meditative state and I just felt so much energy and I just felt this, I just got connected to something, it's resonance. So
Yeah.
all of these principles are there in the world of physics and the world of quantum science, that people who are practicing spirituality experience. So there is an explanation. It's just you need to go out and read and under make yourself acquainted with all of those things, because or maybe you don't want to, like that. I've met so many people that experience so many things, they explain it very beautifully, but they don't want to understand what happens beyond that. But there are people who are very logical like me, who are very irky like me, that they want reasons for everything, and we just go ahead and just read it, and it is there. It is all energy. Quantum science beautifully explains parallel reality, resonance, frequency, energy. Everything is energy. Everything is a wave. Everything changes when they attune themselves to another frequency. Emotions are explained very beautifully through vibrations. So, and we all are essentially energy beings, which is already an established fact, and that's where spirituality takes starts from, that you all are energy beings and you all are souls. So so yeah, that's how my interest got, because I'm this so logical mind that it needs answer, is why in the field of quantum science I just start reading.
Yeah, that brings me to the next question actually. Like transpersonal psychology and quantum
Hmm.
science, it sounds very
Big.
very big words, but when you're helping others into meditation, how do you break it down and how do you simplify it for them to understand?
I just don't use these big words. There's no need to use these big words. You can, so if I have to tell somebody that um you have to there is an out of body experience that happens for a reason, and people are sharing it there in sessions, and one person walks up to me and they ask me, okay, fine, what is this out of body experience? I don't understand. I just tell them that, do you feel that you are just inside your body or you are outside also? He's like, no, I think I'm omnipresent, I'm there everywhere. Like, that's all. So it's that simple. If somebody asks that, okay, fine, what is this, the entire concept of energy? So it's just like, can you see a sun ray? No. Can you feel air? Can you see air? No. It just, you can just feel it.
Mhm.
Do you feel that you are something which is beyond this body? And they say yes. I'm like, that's it. If you can feel something, if you can experience the presence of something, that's it. That's essentially what energy is. And if that something takes form, and the easiest example is to explain people why water, how water shapes, and at different temperatures, at different containers, it just takes the shape of the form, and that's the easiest way to demonstrate how energy um, shifts, and how energy takes different forms, or how energy vibrates at different frequencies. The easiest way is to explain it to via water, which people can see. And if nothing is working, if nobody is unable to understand anything, just make them sit into meditation. That's all. You experience. I don't want to open my mouth. You experience, and you tell me what you experience. That's all. That's the easiest way, demonstration. Just sit. If today if somebody says, why are you so calmer? I say, please meditate for 41 days and you'll get your answer. That's it. If somebody asks me that, why, why do you have so many questions, I say, please meditate for 41 days and you'll know the answer, because that shift in awareness will only happen once you experience it. Nobody can explain you why the shift in awareness happens. You need to sit with yourself and go through those life experiences to understand what is happening in your life. For that, you need patience and awareness, which will happen by meditation. So, and recently there was one very interesting question that, one person asked me, was that, why do you tell, whenever you have thoughts, come back to your breath and observe your breath? Why are we just observing our breath and nothing else? So I was also contemplating on that thought, and like, why just the breath? Why not anything else? And then there's one very simple principle in psychology, is that mind will think. It will think. That is the sole purpose of the mind. Anything you associate with the mind, it will think. But breath does not have a quality, it does not have a form, it does not have any information. So the mind does not have anything to contemplate if the awareness is on the breath. Essentially, the mind is still at work. The mind is still at work because the mind is with your breath. That awareness is what, it's a cognition, right? That's where that's coming from the mind. But your breath does not have a quality. What will it think? That's how the mind is calmer. That's how you go from the beta state, which is like so much, frequency vibration. It just goes like this, and it just comes into that alpha state. That's what quantum science says. What science says. But what is essentially happening is that your breath has no quality. That's why the mind is calmer. That's how the cognitive activity of the mind is reduced, because it has nothing to think, it has nothing to contemplate, it has nothing to focus upon. Just be aware with your breath. So unless and until people experience it, no science can make them understand. That's how.
Mhm. So, with this spiritual background and your scientific researches or studies, how do you see your own personal meditation or your spiritual growth? Uh, how has it changed, or what has it uh, helped each other? Like your spiritual journey might have helped you in your researches or studies, and vice
Yeah,
versa, right?
vice
How did
versa. I think I just became more curious. Uh, I started this journey, and now my entire life revolves around it. So I just became more and more curious about everything. It gave me a very scientific mindset, because um I wouldn't just say it is just meditation. It is also Sajjan Sangatya, how I've interacted with people, how I've interacted with Sir, how I interacted with a lot of other meditators. Is um there is an whenever I sit with other people, there is a feeling, or there is a need or a want to experiment with a lot of things, because um unless that mindset is there, unless and until I do it, I won't agree.
Mm.
Unless and until I do it, I won't believe also. I have to do it. So that experimentation quality, I feel is there from the childhood, that I think I had that innate trait, but it was enhanced with meditation, with interacting with meditators, with interacting with my family, with interacting with Patri sir, or with interacting with experts or sessions. Is that I became very curious. I have to do it if I want to know something. You can't just come and tell me do this and I will do it. No, that is not going to happen. I have to do it. So I think that curiosity and that experimenting nature, and to experience everything and then sort of believe, helped me in my research, because there you really need to have a very open mind towards things. Um, and vice versa, because my research gave me answers. When I say
Yes,
research,
yes.
essentially studying and academic research and other things in topic of interests. That's how it helped me. But other than that, as a person, meditation helped me speak. This is not how I used to speak. I used to be very conscious. I used to be very like searching words. I was not able to look into other people's eyes and speak. I was very low in confidence. So I think the more I started having a curious mindset, and the more I started experimenting, I want to experiment, I want to express. sitting with other people and at least sharing your experience. I think from there, I started becoming more and more confident and more expressive in terms of my feelings as well. Because as a child, I was like, if something happens, I lock myself in the room, cry. That is not happening anymore. I tell people, okay, fine, this is what is hurting me. Even to my mother, today only I told her, please stop this, it's hurting me. So I became more and more expressive because unless and until I express, the other person won't know what is bothering. So I think that also happened simultaneously with the academic stuff, which meditation, spirituality was giving me. As a person, I started evolving.
That's nice. Like, I think that inquisitive nature of yours has
Nature.
helped both ways,
Yeah,
right?
it did help.
Yeah,
It did help. It
because
did
you were
help.
saying you had questions from your childhood and that got
Very,
answered.
I
Yeah.
mean, I remember this incident. So there used to be puja room in my house when I was smaller, and there is like the DT. Okay, so there is this Ram, Lakshman, Sita, and then and Hanumanji. So I would say, can I take your gada, please? And my grandfather used to say, why are you asking for that gada? And I'm like, they're friends only. No, I'll just take the gada and give back, or I'll take the dhanush and I'll give back. So that mindset was never there from the beginning, from the childhood. I'm like, these are my friends, and I used to love those stories. I still love those stories. There's so much learning from those stories, and somehow I still see them friends and characters and such interesting life lessons, more than a religious book, more than religious figures and religious books. I feel so much knowledge is there from the very beginning. So people who believe in past lives, I would say that maybe that learning and that came from my past life. That specific characteristic in me came from my past life. So that's how it was.
Wonderful. Yeah, so I think you're a volunteer with Pima, India. So how did you
Yeah.
come into Pima?
I was in Delhi, and I'm still in Delhi. In 2018 or 19, I met a bunch of youngsters. Before that, I used to meditate. I used to be at home, study and all of those things. But 2018, 19 was the time when I started attending PSSM events, essentially, in Delhi. And that's where I met a bunch of people, Alekhya, Amulya, Sai, all of those people there. And they also, my mom used to attend a lot of events, and every time my mom used to go there, they were like, where is your daughter? Is she still studying? Has she finished her schooling and stuff? And then that time, we used to do social experiments. Like we used to go in the parks and we used to make people meditate. We used to distribute pamphlets and make people meditate. And I started doing that with my mom because my mom said, no, you have to come out of the house and do this. So there I met them, and they took me for a social experiment with themselves, all of those people. From there, little by little, I started like volunteering in those social experiments, going out, giving pamphlets, attending rallies. Um, and then after that, COVID hit and we went full online. So because the friend circle was built, we started brainstorming of how to take sessions, how to reach out to people, how to spread meditation online. From there, I met a lot of other Pima people here in Hyderabad, and DMC happened in 2019. So I went to DMC, and there I met a lot of youngsters. And after a year, it just came into a flow. After a year, we started um, taking small, start sharing my experience first, and then slowly taking workshops. And within Paima, we used to take a 21-day meditation program. So in that one day, I would take a workshop. So from there, I think from being a volunteer, from being an observer, then I became a volunteer, then I started expressing my experiences. And when I when I thought and other people thought that I think I can take a session, I started taking sessions within Pima, and then we started taking sessions outside Pima, whereas in schools and colleges we used to go and um, teach meditation and talk about energy and soul science and all of those things. And and because I was a youngster and I was free at that time in 2019, and Patri sir used to travel a lot, in the entire India. So whenever he used to come to North India, I remember taking an entire Punjab trip with him because they wanted few youngsters from Pima. They wanted to take few youngsters with sir because sir was visiting a lot of schools. So there I went every time he used to go somewhere. Then if he would see that there are a lot of youngsters and I was one youngster in the team, he would call and say, come share your experience. So that was like the training which happened, how to share your experience, and um what to share, how much to share, all of those, little nuances of experience sharing came from that entire 15-20 day Punjab trip. And then I started, and still I'm volunteering with Pima every time there's an event happening in Rishikesh, Uttarakhand, Mahayog Dhyan Kum, and tomorrow we are leaving for that event. And the entire registration is in the hand of youngsters. So that's how, little by little, every event, every session, you just need to show up. That's all. Work is there, you need to show up. I think that mindset now is solidified in me.
Beautiful. How was your experience, like meeting Patriji and traveling 15 days
With
with
sir.
him?
I met Patri sir way back in 2014 first, and I did not like him. I did not. I'm like, why is this person sitting there and all the people are crying in front of him? I couldn't understand. Why are people there? Why are people crying? Why are people asking him questions? What is happening? And that time I used to learn Carnatic music. So I was called to my guru's house, my music guru's house. So, Nagalakshmi ma'am, she's my Carnatic music guru, and sir was visiting her house. That I have just woken up from sleep, and my mom said, come, we have to sing. And I just sat there, I sang, and then sir said, come sit. And then the moment I sat beside him, I started crying. And I'm like, what is happening? Why I am crying? Why is the what is this person? And I couldn't understand what is happening. And after that, a lot of other meetings that I had with sir, I have cried. I've just cried. So my first question was, why am I crying if I'm meeting this person? What is happening? And then I understood the entire concept of energy and how that frequency matches, and how you sort of crying is a way of outlet of all of those stuck emotions and stuck energy blocks and everything. So that process was happening. So that was there. And after that, I think when in Punjab, when it happened 2019, it has always been a very silent meeting. It was not very talkative. I'm not a very talkative person. So it was a very silent meeting. I used to have questions. I had one question about my career where I asked sir, what this is where I'm stuck at. What should I do? He didn't give me an answer. He just said, what do you want to do? So I just said, I want to study mind, brain, behavior, and everything like that. He's like, why are you doing medical then? In 2019, three times he met me, and three times he asked, what are you doing in life? I'm saying, I'm studying for medical entrance exam. He's like, why are you becoming a doctor? What is the need of becoming a doctor? What do you want to do? So, but I was very stuck. I want to study medical. I want to become a doctor. I was stuck. It's like, fine, you do, you will experience yourself, and then you come back. And then in 2019, I met him. I said, I don't want to become a doctor. I want to be the psychologist. He said, okay, go do it. And because he just asked me one question: if you want to study mind brain behavior, why are you waiting for 5 years to complete a medical degree and then study it? Why is it not happening right now? Whatever you want to do, that one statement stuck in my head, whatever you want to do it right now. There has to be some action in the present. You can't wait for years to do it. It will never happen. So I think that thing, and then the entire Punjab trip was mostly me sharing my experience and just being there. I mean, just observing him, how he cooks, how he talks to people, how he has also time for himself, how he manages everything. All of those things were, I think, more observational based. And at the end, I had this conversation with him, which I still remember. And every time he used to come into Delhi, all of us youngsters would meet him. And I used to just tell him this, that, what, sir, we did this session, we took this class, and everything is like that, everything is happening. Is it happening? Okay. You say, yeah, go and go, Baba, do. So I think he never questioned what I'm doing, but he also didn't encourage, but he wanted us, all of us youngsters, to do what we really want to do. And he just put that trigger, think at least what you're doing. So I think that learning was there in all of my meets with him, and obviously the Punjab one.
Wonderful. So being a volunteer, right, for the youngsters' benefit, how do you think such volunteering work you are doing or others in Pima are doing, how does it help in your own spiritual growth? Or does it help?
Of course, I mean, I'm just trying to make it shorter because it's so much. I think first is that the community that one gets. When you start sharing, telling other people about meditation, start, building that community, you get an immediate support group, a very safe space. Nobody judges you.
Like-minded people,
Nobody,
right?
yeah, like-minded people. So that community is what Pima is essentially. And whether I am telling them something or they telling me something, it's just an information exchange. That is all. Nobody is superior, nobody is inferior. It is just an information exchange. It is all like-minded people. So I think that support group is what Pima gives you very immediately. And secondly, you have a mass movement where youngsters are telling youngsters, you should meditate. It's like for the youth, by the youth. Because youngsters of today won't listen to somebody who is 50 years older to him coming and saying you should meditate. Because they're like, you don't know what I'm going through. Simple question is, you don't know what I'm going through. But if a youngster tells a youngster you should meditate, like, okay, fine, I think something relatable is there, just the age factor or the experience factor. So, or every time I try is that we should have a lot of youngsters who are meditating, who should be in every event, who should be everywhere, so that more youngsters who are going through, who have gone through similar experiences or going through similar experiences, at least try and meditate. And what it gives me in return, it just gives me a lot of satisfaction and happiness. That's all. It's a very selfish need. That if I am telling my experience, then maybe that person at that time had a need to hear that experience. The same thing with me. If somebody's telling their experience to me, I just find it so relatable that it just reinforces me to do more meditation. It just keeps me motivated. So having that community and telling other people about meditation keeps me motivated to do meditation. So it is like a
Give
spiral
and take.
chain of,
Yeah.
yeah, it is a dual effect. Tell about meditation, I want to because the moment I start taking less sessions or I start going out more for social experiments or go out or do less meditation, I feel a lot of disconnect. Again, I'll go back and do social experiments, do more meditation, take more sessions. So it just keeps you in that energy level is what I would say. So to maintain that, I would say that the entire of Pima, all the youngsters helped me a lot.
Yeah, and I feel like for youngsters, rather than parents telling them or older adults telling them to meditate, I feel youngsters or their same age group, when they keep talking about meditation and their experiences, it might be relatable to them. Otherwise, they think,
Yeah,
oh, it's for older people. It's not for us. We are so
that's
young.
what. There's so many things.
Yeah.
That's what. So that's why when people hear that I've been meditating for close to a decade, they're like, so you were 11, you were meditating. I'm like, yeah. So, and my
Mm.
sister is started meditating when she was 4. So she
Wow.
was like teeny tiny when she started meditating. So when she shares her experience, it's altogether different because her entire childhood has gone while she was meditating and and she started reading before me.
Wow.
So I'm like, that her experiences are out of the level. Like she'll just give one word statements and that would mean so much. That would, say a lot. So I think when people hear her experiences, they're like, oh, we should then make our, you know,
Kids meditate.
children kids meditate from the beginning. And I also encourage her, please share your experience because the earlier you start, the earlier the better it is. So I think that's when then parents don't have to do that nagging behind their kids. Just make them meet somebody who meditate. That's all.
Yeah. So being like you're spreading meditation and you're learning about all this science behind the spirituality, and you are seeking your own spiritual growth. How do you balance all these things?
Um, I won't say 100% is there balance. I'm still learning how to balance. But I feel that I started enjoying what I'm doing. Um, whether it is study or it is volunteering or it is doing a research or it is going out with friends or it is going out with family. Um, if I'm doing something, I'll not think about the other thing. If I'm studying, I'll not think about family. If I'm with family, I'll not think about studying. If I'm volunteering, college doesn't exist for me. If I'm in college, then nothing else exists for me. So I feel that again, meditation gave me clarity of compartmentalizing of what I'm doing. I will not mix and match. I try my best not to mix and match. Um, if I'm with my friends, that also something that is another episode altogether because it taught me how to make friends also. How to choose people to talk to. Because if you talk to everybody, then you're just wasting energy. If you talk to like-minded people, you're not wasting energy, you're utilizing your energy. You have that something productive is coming out of it. Or at least that productive is you getting happiness. You're not going to the drama, you're not going to back bitching, all of those things. So balance came from compartmentalizing where I am and what I'm doing, and also choosing to be with the right set of people. Sometimes I fail in that also, but at least there's no judgment. But if I see that a lot of energy drain is happening, I would just refrain from doing those things. Um, and for example, right now, my college is going on. I'm finishing my master's degree, and it's the last few months of my degree.
Mhm.
And I had to attend MIDK. So I took an off from my college, a week's off. So I know that I need to attend an event where I really want to volunteer. I really want to be there, be present in that event. So everything else was planned before. Every Viva was planned before. Every college work was planned before. I didn't take any holidays so that I can make up for this holiday. So I feel that that drive to compartmentalize and that drive to choose and set a priority is how balancing is happening for me right now. People also complain that you're planning too much. You're very rigid in your planning. You're not flexible in your planning. But I also feel that because I know what is coming next, um I tend to plan. But balance is also teaching that entire balancing is also being flexible. Because if something goes haywire, you need to adapt and restart again. So I think that restarting and adapting I'm learning now. If something goes, if there's some change in plan, for example, I was in Delhi and I had to do a lot of things and I'm not able to do it in the moment right now, and tomorrow I have to leave, it's okay, I can take another trip. Don't have to be so rigid in your planning. So I think that is also something which I'm learning through experience. I think just being aware of what I'm doing is creating that balance right now for me.
That's wonderful. Yeah. Key point is being in that present moment, right? When
Yeah,
you're studying, you're not thinking
yeah,
about volunteering activity.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm still
That,
learning it. It's not 100%. I'm still
yeah.
in the
I
process,
mean,
but
everybody is
somewhere
learning.
there. Yeah,
Yeah.
somewhere there.
Yeah, because meditation came very late in my life, so I am
Oh,
still learning that. But you being such a young adult and having been meditating from childhood, I'm pretty sure you have a pretty good balance. Yeah.
mostly yes.
Yeah, and I did mention and I missed talking about it. You are a writer, so
Ah,
would you
that
want to share something about that?
writer. So I don't write books, not an author.
Okay.
I So it happens so that when a lot of awareness comes, no, you need to there has to be some letting out. You need to do something with that information. There's so much information in my head, so much organized information in my head. Somewhere it needs to go out. So I started maintaining a diary. That's how it started from. Because I was not very vocal about what I'm feeling. I just started writing. And that writing, I don't know how has this happened. I still can't figure out. There's no memory also of how it happened. It just started flowing into rhythm. And whatever I used to write, it started flowing into rhythm. I got a rhythm and I was able to express. So I started writing poetry. All of my poetry was about, in the initial stage, was about heartbreaks. All of the poetry was about heartbreaks and love messages and whatever. A lot of romantic stuff I used to write. But eventually, what happened is I started reading books, my writing also improved. From love, it became writing about myself, what I'm feeling, what I'm doing. Then it became about writing more about life. Um, Maybe an alternative perspective. I write a lot about time. I love writing about time. Most of it is in Hindi, very little in English, because I feel I have more command over the Hindi language in writing than English language. English is still very professional for me. So that's how it started. And it till now, if I'm feeling something very intense, I'll sit with that thought and I'll just write. And it's a very 5 minute, 10-minute process. That's all it is. I still can't, if you give me a topic, I can't write. Only if I feel it, I write it. So it is still a very no, it's an outlet channel for me. That's how I
Your
express essentially.
expression. Your
It's my
expression.
expression. Yeah. Either I sing or I write. Either
Nice.
of two. So
Do
I
you
think
publish
that
them?
is no, not yet. Nothing is published. It's just there.
Okay.
I still write it because I love doing it. Nothing. I think I don't think I want to do it professionally also. It's so personal. So I just write and I just put it on Instagram. That's all I do. But not publishing.
Mhm. Beautiful. Yeah. Before
Yeah.
we end the session, for someone who's starting their spiritual journey or a youngster, what is your message to them?
Mm, I think start by having a question. What you want to do. That's all. I think that should be the starting question. Uh, just what you want to do. That's all. I think if, and I'm 100% sure, I don't know I'm claiming something, but that question will lead you to meditation somewhere, because every time you want to think, you need a very calmer mind. And to have a calmer mind, there is nothing more easier than meditation. That will lead you to meditation. So for me, it was ulta. I was into meditation first and then I started thinking, but just think what you want to do and it will lead you to meditation, is what I feel. Because if you think, you will understand that you are here for something. You are not just leading a life like that. Or the opposite way, give it a try. There's no harm in giving it. We give a try to a lot of things. We give a try to let's go on a trip. We give it a try to let's drink alcohol. We give it a try to let's do something different. Maybe this is that one different that you can do. So just give it a try. I think for youngsters, give it a try makes a lot of sense. So either think and then do, or just do and then think. As simple as that.
It's a beautiful message. Yes. It was wonderful talking to you, Upali.
Thank
It
you
was
so much.
beautiful. For me, the 2 points it is stuck with me is that how beautifully explained that why we are using breath for meditation and the compartmentalization, like how we
Right.
can
Correct.
be there what you're doing and don't think about the other things in your life.
Yeah,
That
that's all.
beautiful way you explained it very nicely, and
Thank you.
it's still there. It was wonderful interacting. Thank you so much
Thank you
for
so
joining us.
much.
Yeah, over to you, Sirisha.
Thank you, Rashmi. Thank you, Pali, for sharing,
Thank
your life journey in spirituality. It's wonderful to hear from you. I like the last message what you have given to the, to the audience, to the young generation. Yes, it is truly touching actually. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
So
Thank you.
friends, we would like to open any questions if you have. Please raise your hand or ask the questions in the chat box. And I would like to unmute Sharma sir from Dallas. Hello, Sharma sir.
Hello, Sirisha. Hello, Upali. Hi, Reshmi madam. So it is beautiful listening to you, Upali. So young master, you have so much talent, so much into. So you are a spiritual scientist. So I won't take much time generally. So here in Dallas, we are building a huge mega pyramid called Omega Pyramid, the size of Kartal Pyramid. So from that perspective, I would like to. So you are a spiritual scientist. So I would like from the pyramids perspective, I wanted to. I wanted you to do research on the pyramids and how they will help the humanity. So, do you want to share anything on the pyramids?
So I practically grew up with pyramids since the time we have been meditating. So 15 years with pyramids for sure. As you said, experimentation with pyramids has been a very, it was very curious. I mean, not curious, different, and it instilled a lot of curiosity. Um, I did a small experiment with the pyramid when I was in, I think, 9th or 10th standard, where I would keep the pyramid on my table and I would study. And I would not keep the pyramid and also I would study. So I think the intensity of energy with pyramid was different and without pyramid was also different. So that is something I did when I was studying. And then I visited the Kartal pyramid and the Bangalore pyramid and meditated in both the places. And it just acts as a catalyst to your meditation experience. It is effortless, it is seamless. You feel a lot of energy, and when I say energy, you will just feel it. I cannot explain. I'm so sorry. You really need to feel it. Will feel heavy, it will feel light, it will feel happiness, in all different forms. So I felt a lot of energy, especially in the Bangalore pyramid, which is there, Maitreya pyramid. So that is there. My house has two or four pyramids in one of our rooms. So that is our meditation room, which is also a pyramid meditation center. So every time somebody walks into our house, they say there is some difference in your house. There, I can feel different, and I don't feel it in everywhere place. And we take them to see the pyramid. See, there's a pyramid here, and there's a crystal here. So I think that part has always been there. And I live in Bangalore now. So the moment I entered my PG room, I did not feel nice. I placed 6 pyramids, small copper pyramids there. And every time I enter my room, the room itself energizes me. So that much energy a pyramid holds within itself. And I think somewhere in my life, definitely I would experiment more and publish researches on pyramids because that is needed. We have a living example in Giza. What is the extent of preservation capacity of a pyramid and storage capacity of a pyramid in terms of energy? People who meditate feel it, and it is there. Even other people who don't meditate, I've seen using pyramids. So it is very well established. We just need a little of scientific literature to make it more prominent.
Yeah, that's great, madam. So I was actually going to ask. So you should go in whatever your research should go into print. So that will so reach much wider people. So yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much for taking time to give answer to me. Thank you.
Thank you, Sharma sir. So Vidya's iPhone, I'll unmute. Vidya, yeah, can you unmute, ma'am?
Hi, sorry. It's morning, so I just woke up. So apologies. I was just wowed by the experiences shared at such a young age. How much clarity and wisdom is flowing through. So it was just amazing. My question is really around my daughter. She's 21, so almost close to your age, and she has a taste of meditation, but is not doing it regularly. I myself know about meditation, have had few small experiences and see the benefits, but that consistency isn't there. So when you talk today, all the sharing experiences, it kind of energizes me. But then 2 days later, right, you get into that routine of work, day-to-day things, and somehow this becomes a nice to have. So it's like in the back burner thing. So how do you guys keep that fire in you and it just keeps going? I know you shared a couple of experiences where you saw through studies and all where you were able to achieve. So you know the power of it. But to make it a priority in life, how do you bring that forth?
It's just proportional to how much distress you are. It's as easy as that. Because it's very easy, okay? If you don't eat one meal, you become so distressed. I'm so hungry.
Mhm.
So if you understand it through how much distress you are in emotionally, mentally, I think that's itself is enough to give you that motivation to meditate. If you're not, then you're ignoring yourself. So the thought of keeping yourself in priority is enough motivation to do meditation regularly. This is what will happen with me, because I felt a lot of emotional distress throughout my teenage, and that was a lot of motivation for me to meditate. Second is, if you don't eat food one time a day, your stomach is hungry. If you don't meditate regularly, then you yourself hungry of you yourself energy deprived, your body is energy deprived, your mind is energy deprived, your soul is energy deprived. That reminder is a constant practice. That reminder one has to give themselves. um, just how nobody reminds you to eat food, nobody can remind you to meditate also. But you remind yourself to eat food because you feel the hunger. So if you've tasted meditation, you need to keep telling your mind to think about it repeatedly, repeatedly, repeatedly. See, there's a very interesting study by Joe Dispenza where he says that unless and until you tell your mind what to do, the mind will do whatever the mind wants to do, which is automatic in nature. So we need to first start speaking to the mind and remind it that we need to meditate. And it's a constant practice. I don't know if it works, but I love waking up in the morning and writing my day's work, and meditation is there. Mostly it is there. And at the end of the day, I will definitely tick mark what I have to do. And I need to tick mark meditation. I think that the simple practice that one can start with, that you need to make meditation a part of it. How a meeting is there in your calendar, meditation should be there in your calendar.
Mm.
It's a very
Thank you.
essential thing you can do. Or remind yourself how much distress you are in. That's like a trigger. That's like a solid trigger. When I say, I don't know, there's so much issue in my life and still I'm not able to meditate. I'm like, then that is not distressful for you. If you say that you have a lot of issues, or whatever is there in your life, and you really want to meditate, it means that the issue is not bothering you enough, or maybe you are not seeing it enough. That's why you're saying that, what, I really want to meditate, but I'm not able to meditate. So maybe see what is there in your life.
Thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful answer, Upali. It is, that helps not just for any teenager. I think that answers everybody who wanted to do meditation, but they are not regular enough to sit. Thank you. Thank you so much. Any questions, friends? Please raise your hands. Or I don't see any questions in the chat. So thank you, Upali. Thank you so much for coming and sharing your wisdom, your life journey. Thank you so much. So friends, thank you for joining today and your energy and time. It's very valuable, and we will see you later, like next week at the same time. Until then, thank you. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.